So it's just questions that we need to be asking ourselves to our doctors.
Yeah.
Yes.
Duda, did you have any thoughts on that? I guess grabbing the microphone there. So,
That's all right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure with Carillion Connect, you get all kinds of questions from our viewers, and that's what we want. We want our viewers who may be struggling tonight, or are worried about someone, or has a family member or loved one, or maybe just information. What kind of questions do you get typically?
Well, that's something I could probably ask my crew back here, since they get them. I'll be honest in saying that probably the vast majority of our calls are from family members who are really, really concerned about the person in their life that they recognize is going down a pathway that's just very destructive. And it's really heartbreaking to hear them and to hear their stories and to say that I really, want to help my family member. And it gets difficult because if the person is not ready to make that change, then it's very, very difficult. So the family has to watch that. There's also help out there for families to learn how to cope with what they're seeing and learn strategies for themselves to be able to use with their family member to hopefully help that family member reach a point where they're ready to make a change. I think that's a big piece of it. There are also a lot of questions. There are a lot of medications out there, and medications have their place and are very important, but there's a lot of confusion about types of medications and what they do. Some people will ask about anxiety medicine. Is that an opioid? Well, no, it's different. The withdrawal syndromes are different depending on what type of medication it is that they may be taking. Some withdrawals are life-threatening and some are not. There are also questions, to be honest, that come down to insurance. What is covered and what is not in some of these treatment facilities. And the difficult thing is that for a withdrawal that is not life-threatening to go through, which an opioid one tends not to be. I mean, it's life-threatening if you overdose, but the withdrawal is like the worst flu that you have ever had in your entire life, and it's miserable to go through. But because you don't die from it necessarily, most insurances do not pay for that. Wow. So you have to really take a look at that. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't help out there. There are different treatment programs that are sliding scale, that are self-pay, and there are some out there that are free. So there is help, and there are different programs that you can look at that are going to best meet your needs. But more than anything, I think it's important for people to realize that they are more successful if they don't try to do it alone, and that if they keep their family member or someone who's a significant other involved, because this is going to be a group effort.
Yeah, and that's what the message is, I think, that we all want to get across, WS Celestin and Carillion. That's why we started this partnership. It's letting our viewers know that they aren't alone. Our phones were ringing off the hook at our earlier phone bank today. This is the first time we've done something like this. We didn't know what kind of response, and I think that just goes to show, I think it's important to share that if anyone is thinking about calling, or that, having these thoughts, they're not alone. And I mean, it affects more people than what you think.
It's frightening.
It is. It's been a very eye-opening experience. For me personally today, I report on these stories, I hear about these stories, but to see those phones ringing, I mean, it's very eye-opening.
We've been talking about fear. One of the real fears is in the mind of the individual who is addicted. The fear of going through withdrawal, the fear of dealing with the pain, the fear of what's going to happen. What we have developed more and more is a skill set to help people engage in treatment. We know that for many, medication-assisted treatment is an important element, but for very, very few is it the only thing. For the vast majority, we provide not just some type of medication, whether to block the effects or to replace the effects of the opiate, but psychotherapy, skills, different kinds of ways, both individually one-on-one with a clinician, a therapist, but also in a group of others going through exactly the same process of how to cope effectively with this. What are the alternatives? How do you find ways to either distract yourself, cope with the pain effectively, gain more control of your own life rather than seeking a pill that would control your life? And so these are the opportunities. Part of it is many of the people we've treated over the years with opiate addictions have given up a sense of hope in the future. They've lost the sense of what my life might be. All my life is worrying about the next pill I get to take, the next injection I make. And so part of what we have learned to do is to work to build a sense of the future. What do I want my life to become? How can I rebuild my relationships or strengthen my relationships with my family? And so this is an integral part of treatment, and it's one that we really shouldn't overlook.
I think that's really great insight. Deirdre, when people call tonight, who should call? What kind of questions? Speaking directly to the viewer right now, why should they call tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to call just to know that there is support out there and that there's hope. It does exist and it's there. Sometimes it's hard to find, but this is the perfect place to be able to do that. The kinds of things that we'll probably ask you are what kinds of substances is the person using, how much they're using, and how frequently. That certainly gives us a starting place, but we'll want to know where you live so that we can identify what resources are in your area. We may ask what kind of insurance you have so that we know what direction to place you in. We really want you to succeed, so we don't want to send you in a direction that's not going to work for you. So asking those kinds of questions, how many people will be involved, and who's in the family, and who's going to be the biggest support. Things like that are going to be important for us to know so that we can help shape the future and a successful treatment program and a successful direction for people to go in.
It's also important to note that callers can remain anonymous. We're not going to take your information. I have no idea what they're talking about. That's between you all.
Right.
This is a safe space to talk about this. Confidential. It's a free service. And we appreciate you all for providing that.
We will give you a number of different possibilities that you can go with. We won't set you up because you've got to make that first step. So what we will do is give you the resources, give you the phone numbers, the locations and things like that, and give you choices that you can make. But you will have to make that first step of picking up the phone. First to call us, and then to call for treatment.
Right, and again, our opioid special is tonight at 10 o'clock. Our phone lines will open as well. It's 512-1620 that you can call, and we'll have that posted on WSLS 10 at the bottom of your screen so you can see that as well. We appreciate our volunteers being here tonight. We do hope that you call if you have any questions or feel like now's the time. We want to help you take this first step. I greatly appreciate you all being here with us tonight, being our partner in this. Your expertise is greatly valued. So I hope you tune in tonight at 10 on WSLS 10. Thank you so much for watching.